Hi everyone, my name is Matt, and today I'll be talking to you about my challenges of being an Asian American with a disability in the community and in society too. I have autism, including a learning disability, along with a cognitive disability. I was born with this and am currently struggling in the past and currently. My challenges of having this is I struggle on comprehending at advanced subjects at a certain pace. Sometimes I struggle to communicate my thoughts in different social settings, including on social media platforms. Also, I struggle on understanding social cues, including people's personalities, and I get teased. Um, what is hard for me as an Asian American with a disability is I get bullied and being put down by other people in the community and also in society too with other people in general. Um, when I was in high school, there was this Chinese girl who really liked me because she liked how I was very unique, creative, and she really admired how I was trying to work hard on my disability, even if I struggled with social cues or if I wasn't perfect at education. And so she was very kind to me and compassionate, and she really um, wanted to see good in me, and she really liked me a lot. And we both kind of had feelings for each other, but it became much harder too, was because her family was very Chinese culture and very Asian culture, where they were using their culture as a way to judge me for struggling with disability. Where they kind of told me that they don't like people with disabilities. They believe people with disabilities are bad for the Asian American community, and said in our culture we don't like people with disabilities. And it really hit me hard when they did this, and all I can simply try to tell them was like, I do struggle with my disability, but I still want to try to see good things, and I try my best to be a decent human being, even if I struggled. And um, dealing with this was very hard at the time because they were really hard on me, and some of her other friends were bullying me even further for me talking to her, and we had to end our friendship, and we had to give up on the feelings, which was very tricky. Because during my high school years, I would see her walk by, and I would feel so bad for not talking to her because she would get bullied by her own community, including her own family. I would get bullied by some of her friends or other people in general for even wanting to talk to her. And all I can just do was we both had to not talk or even communicate, and it was really sad. And that was the really first experience where I dealt where I had some people go really extreme measures to really um, use culture as a way to hate somebody against a disability and to push me away from a girl who really cared about me. And I kept and through this even though I dealt with this in the past, it always hits me hard all the time to deal with this trauma on a daily basis, because sometimes when I see like an Asian girl hanging out with a different race or somebody with a man or something, I kind of feel bad to myself, like, wow, like why isn't anybody criticizing like an Asian girl for going out with a man or from a different race, but they can criticize a person with a disability like me for hanging out with them, or even if it's just being a friend or romantic. And so I live with this kind of question on my mind, but I decided it was time for me to um, um, I wasn't sure how to really say this, but I just said I just have all I can do is just send good thoughts and positive vibes, and just say that I hope that things can get better for for my former friend that who really cared about me. So After high school, she met a boyfriend and they got married. And she posted on social media and showed me a picture saying she one time reached out to me saying she got married. And all I can simply just do is just say back like, "Congrats and getting married. Send you good thoughts and positive vibes for you to do well." But inside of me, I was feeling so much pain in my heart and feeling sad that I couldn't have been the one for her to make her happy. And I kind of felt so sad. But at the same time too, I was happy that she found somebody who made her happy. And that so I it's really hard for me to really express or try to figure out how I can communicate that. But ever since dealing with that trauma of being pushed away from somebody who liked me just because I was struggling with a disability, or if I was an Asian man with a disability, if I was different from other Asians, it just was a shock to me doing that experience. And so um, I start to always try to try to think to myself, or what do I really see in Asian or Asian American girls, and all I can just say is I always try to be respectful for them. I always try to think of good thoughts and positive vibes with them, and just like even if they're not comfortable or if they're kind of nervous about talking to them, I always try to be creative and try to do small talk, be respectful, like "Hi, how are you?" or that. And so I always try my hardest to be respectful and understanding, but I always get worried about being even teased by other by by them or other Asian Americans or Asians if I talk to an Asian girl. So I was kind of worried about that. But all I can simply just do is try to be a human being who's kind and understanding and want to see good in them. And I don't like to judge them in a negative way. As I further progressed, I was because I live in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I was going to social groups that were filled with Asian Americans, whether it's from high school through college through adult, and where they would do activities like they would um, do it, play activities with each other, socialize and eat. And what was really hard was being in the social group was I continued to get bullied and judged for having a disability, and they made things. They would say phrases like "you're a retard," "you're a slowpoke," or they would question me like, "You're not really Asian. You don't look like you're Asian American," or "You're not really an Asian American because you have a disability," or like that. And I sometimes I could spit at, dealt with vulgar language, and sometimes people would shove me, and I felt extremely uncomfortable in that situation. So what I had to do, make a lot of other, what I tried to my best to do is I would talk to the leaders of these social groups where I would try to say, in a respectful and give good insight, where I'd be like, much as I respect Asian Americans, however, I feel very uncomfortable when I get bullied, when they call me mean names, when they spit at me, when they push me, when they say vulgar language. I was wondering if you could dress to them about how they should be kind and understanding of me with a disability, and how um, being say anti-disability stigma or using hate against people with disability isn't right. I tried the best I could to put this in a good way because I was worried about with any challenges with my disabilities. I always worry about dealing with bad retaliation or people even judging me further. And I always try to be respectful and understanding, but at the same time address my concerns. However, this did not work right because I dealt with a lot of retaliations. I continued to get harassed, bullied, being spit at, being shoved, being called vulgar language. Some of my friends that were Asian Americans would join them too, and it was really difficult. And I said it was time for me to leave the social groups. I had interest of going. I really like Asian culture too. I remember going to a lot of Asian culture shows a lot. Sometimes to see performances, enjoy snacks, listen to people talk about the Asian culture. I thought this was cool, but there was challenges too of going there because it was heavily crowded. Sometimes it was too noisy, and I continued to even get bullied further by going to these things. I was continuing to get spit at, being called names, and sometimes when I recognized people that were bullies, or even some of my friends that were bullies when they were there, they would encourage people to bully me. They would just continue that, and I felt really, really extremely comfortable. And so I decided like it really wasn't a right fit for me to go to a lot of these cultural shows anymore. Another biggest challenge that I really do struggle a lot as an Asian American with a disability is there's been a movement called the Stop Asian Hate, which has been very, very concerning for me, and because I've dealt where some Asian Americans use the Stop Asian Hate as a way to bully and harass people with disabilities. I've dealt where I've experienced a lot of harassment from them. Like sometimes they get physical with me, they spit at me, they say really, really gross words or even hateful words about people with disabilities. And even some of my former friends that were Asian Americans were continue to use as a way to bully somebody. And I kept asking myself, what does the Stop Asian Hate mean to me? And what I kind of started to say is, in my own way of thinking, is I believe that Asian American shouldn't be hate for simply just being a different race. They, including people with disabilities that are in the Asian American community or an Asian, should not deal with getting harassed and bullied. And there is a strong need for diversity and education awareness about Asian American culture, including the history, and how the Asian American community should accept many of their own who are very diverse in different ways. Like if they want to learn different things, have different careers, different interests, or different hobbies, different creativity, or different ideas of going to the education, how they all should be part of the community. And so that is my view of the Asian American community, but also what really needs to should be about the Stop the Asian Hate. um, when I deal with these hard times too of being bullied, but and being put down, or even when some Asian Americans get mean at me, I kind of live with guilt inside myself, where I ask myself questions, so many questions like, "Am I a bad person for being an Asian American with a disability? What do I have to offer in the community? What do I have to offer to society? Um, am I a terrible person just because I couldn't get a higher education or a higher or high paying job or it, or like that, and so many others?" And I kept asking myself so many of these questions on a daily basis, and I sometimes I would cry at night. I live with guilt all the time. Like maybe I'm not a perfect Asian American in society. Maybe I'm not very good looking. Maybe like all these questions, and I said it was time for me to try to create temporary solutions. So when it comes to temporary solutions that I have learned or have created or have tried to process the best as I could, I had to remember some of the people that were very inspirational to me, like my two of my grandparents, Papa and Goon Goon, and including my aunt. Her name was Aunt Barb. They were Asians too, and they were always compassionate towards me when I struggled with a disability, and or if I struggled with behavior issues, or if I had trouble with social cues. They were always knowing that inside of me they wanted me to continue on trying to do good things, learn from my mistakes, and try to remind me that that it's okay if I'm not perfect like other Asians or Asian Americans in society. The best thing that I can do is continue to have kindness, compassion, and understanding, and having the ability to want to be creative with critical thinking. And so I try to live by what they have told me, and I'm always appreciative and inspired by them. And even if they're not, even if they passed away too, because I deeply miss them a lot during these difficult times, including the past through currently, because they really played a special role for me and also helped inspire me to try my best to be a decent human being with a disability, but also to try to be creative on how to be an Asian American with a disability in a society where it is broken. Then I had to do a personal self reflection where it was like, what type of Asian American do I want to present myself with a disability? And I would say I want to show people that I'm very interested in social justice, um, including people with disability rights. I want to try to show people that I really have compassion, kindness, and understanding of people when they are different, when they struggle. I want to see good in people when the world is broken. I want to also try my best to be creative at learning different things while using critical thinking and that. But when it comes to like learning, I have to tell myself, just because I couldn't get a 4-year education, maybe I'm not good at every subject. Maybe I wasn't good at doing tests, or if I wasn't good at doing assignments, or if I can't really understand advanced subjects, all I can do is just try to be creative at learning, like watching YouTube, watching documentaries, using audiobooks, using my computer to help me read materials where I select it and it reads back to me as a way for me to process information, or watch things with closed captions to help me understand language, understand definition, retain the information. And so um, and another thing too is I like to I'm always looking for ins- Asian Americans that are influential, because I'm always want to look for some inspiration from them to inspire me to work hard on my disability, or try to be creative, or to be interested in learning. I like to look at many influentials that are ranging from arts through YouTubers, public officials, and celebrities and acting, and so that, or in the news media in general. Um, there are some Asian American influentials that I really admire a lot, like Maya Lin, who really worked hard on building um, the memorials as a way to symbolize about teaching people about paying respects to people who sacrificed their life for the community, but also address the need for civil rights to be stronger, to reduce discrimination. Actresses like Lucy Liu, Aquafina, Victoria Park, who play in the CW Flash, where I really am inspired by their acting, but also their support for people with disability rights causes, and some of my favorite Asian American news reporters. One of them is like Jacqueline Lee from ABC News, and including many others, where they continue to inspire me with their work and their activism on social justice, including disability rights causes too. And so I always look up to them as very influential people to me. So also, I kind of been working on doing a lot of time where I donate some money to support some of the Asian American communities, including some of the museums that talk about Asian American culture, including the history, as a way to try to help out the community, even if I can't meet with people in groups, or if I struggle to communicate my thoughts with other people, if I don't feel if I'm kind of if other people judge me, and I do like donate some money as a way to try to help to repair the community during difficult times, or try to help them spread more educational awareness about the culture, because I'm a strong believer that Asian Americans deserve to have a chance in life. They deserve to have a chance to share their community with others, and they deserve to be recognized for their contributions to our country. And so I spend time donating some small amount of money to them. Um, Also, I like to write letters to influential Asian Americans in different roles, where I try to explain how their work on social justice or acting or disability rights really inspires me as an Asian American with a disability, or how they inspire me to learn. And I do this as a way to recognize them as human beings, but also to try to recognize and appreciate on how much they work hard to make the world a better place. There are times where I get some good responses. Sometimes I don't get good responses too. I would say like a small percent. What I mean to say not good responses is they have, some of them present negative views against um, people with disabilities, and sometimes I get like mean responses say, we don't like somebody with a disability, and we're not interested in writing to you or corresponding with you. And I deal with this, I'll say like a small percentage from them, but all I can simply just try to tell myself is I am still a human being, and it's okay that I want to see good in people, especially in Asian Americans who want to try to do good for society. And and when I travel, I like to visit like Chinatown or Koreatown. Like if I go to like Los Angeles, I just try to take pictures or video of me trying places, just walk around. I can say I'm just enjoying my time and no drama. Just and try to comfort myself, say it's okay, I can just enjoy this, and just visit a museum or history site about Asian or Asian American culture as a way to educate myself, but just be okay with just go in the flow. So, um, also what I like to do is go to like Pan Express or like Korean barbecue. I can just try and enjoy a meal and just say Pan Express and Korean barbecue, no drama, just enjoying my time. I use this as a way as to comfort myself. And so um, also I try to keep myself motivated with myself as an Asian man with disability by sometimes watching Korean drama or Chinese drama, or including movies or TV shows where I can watch it to see how they're creative, how people are very creative in different things, if they're awkward or if they're different. And all I can just do is watch it, just remind myself that it's okay that I'm unique or different, that I shouldn't feel ashamed about myself. So I use that as a way as a motivation. And so, um, but when it comes to society in general, I've dealt instances where a lot of people use a lot of anti-Asian stigma, which makes it hard for me sometimes too with a disability, even much harder. Where I deal where a lot of different people from different backgrounds, like white, Latinos, African Americans, or other people in general, or including like different generation groups like Gen Zs, millennials, adults, where they kind of start judging somebody with a disability in a very bad way. And so it can be very tricky on navigating it. I can give you an example is I do volunteer to help feed homeless people, including people who are low income, with food or other essential items. And there was one instance where there were some people who were poor, including homeless, where they were saying a lot of hateful things about Asians, Asian Americans, because they were saying, "Oh, why are Asian Americans greedy, selfish? Why do they hate people who are poor? Why don't they like people with disabilities?" And at that time, I was really worried. You know, I hope I don't mess it up because I'm Asian American, but also I have a disability too. I hope they don't see me as a bad person. But in that mind frame, what I had to say was I have to be creative on how I present myself, being kind, compassionate, being creative with using critical thinking to help them. And so in that instance, when I was giving out like grocery bags filled with canned goods to a lot of these homeless people, people who were poor, they were like, "Wow, they said, are you an Asian American?" I'm like, um, I was very hesitant to say yes and no. I just said I'm a mixed race, but I am a little bit Asian, a little white, but also have a disability too. And many of them were like so shocked, like, wow, you're like an Asian American with a disability. I wanted to help feed homeless people. We're so impressed. I was like, oh my gosh, like even people poor and homeless, people from different backgrounds, like like white, black, Latino, and I was like, wow, they were really understanding. Said, well, thank you for taking the time to help us in our community. It's very rare we see Asian Americans help out, but they said, or who are kind and compassionate, but they said we appreciate you so much. So um, and that really was like a really good instance for me to deal where some people not only saw me as a Asian American with disability, but someone who saw someone who wanted to try to do good, even if I was a mixed race or if I struggled with a disability, and that really made me feel good doing that. Um, Usually in a workplace, it can be tricky too because sometimes other people get extremely judgmental about me struggling with disability. If I struggle with fast paced environment, if I struggle trying to multitask in a fast paced setting, or if I struggle on doing tasks, if I don't know how to do it in a certain way, sometimes I deal with other people, including some Asians, some Asian Americans who I work with. They get extremely, extremely judgmental where they say mean things and in that instance, all I can simply just do is do the same thing again, like use critical thinking to be creative on how to do the different tasks, try my best to continue to be kind, compassionate, and understanding of other people. And sometimes it doesn't work 100% of the time, but sometimes if I do try my best to emphasize it, even if it's not like verbal, if I have trouble communicating, if I just try to do the task doing creatively, then sometimes some of them changes their mind about me and say, "Oh, we appreciate you trying your best, working hard, or trying to helpful, even if you can't do everything." So um, that sometimes doing what I had to tell myself to be honest is in general, sometimes it doesn't work 100% all the time, but all I can simply just do is to tell myself is continue trying to be a human being who wants to see kindness, compassion, understanding, be creative while using critical thinking, and they will help me in the long run. Unfortunately, I still continue to struggle with my challenges of being Asian American with a disability, where I continue to get bullied and hate by some of them, and including some of my friends and some people that I met before in the past, that currently about having disability and being different from other Asian Americans, and it really makes me sad when I deal with this, but at the same time, all I can simply just try to do is do a pep talk or remind myself that, hey, Papa and Gungun, your Aunt Barb, really likes you. They really value me. They want to see good in me. And say, okay, it's really important that I continue on trying to be good, try to do good things, even if I struggle with a disability, or if I struggle with social cues, or if I have challenges on learning, or if I have challenges on understanding people. It's just try to continue to do good, and I always tried to continue to remind myself from Jesus Christ that just continue just trying to do good, um, and simply just try to remind yourself that you're just a human being on navigating things, and that's all I can simply do. And so, um, my vision for the Asian and Asian American community is that they need to learn about how to be kind and compassion and understanding of people with disabilities, even if they are not in their own community or even if they are in their community. Also, in this Asian American community, I strongly believe that it is very important for the Asian and Asian American community to be understanding and appreciative of how many other Asians or Asian Americans have different diverse interests, whether it's being creative, doing learning, different careers, different education, if they struggle with a disability, or if they are very creative at doing YouTube or trying to spread good awareness about social justice, including people with disability rights, and that they should not be judged harshly in their own community. And so, because reason why I brought this up is because I myself have a disability, and I have also done a lot of research about Asian American influentials in different positions, and including some people who are YouTubers, where I really admire and appreciate on how much they want to make a difference in the world or how they want to be creative at addressing issues. And I want to be supportive for them because I want them to feel that they are appreciated, even if I can't be perfect or even if I'm not the perfect guy 100% all the time. So my whole message is to many Asian American who are influentials in different settings, like celebrities, public officials, or who are supposedly at activism, is to please be kind to people with disabilities in your own community. Please please advocate for people with disability rights because many people with disabilities like mine are being weakened or being damaged by our current polarization in politics and in society, and there's been a huge increase in anti disability stigma. Also, I would want the Asian American and Asian community to do is they need to do a better job of emphasizing the need to not use hate against people with disabilities and to discourage um, bullying, harassment, or vulgar language. Um, I know I may not be a very popular person for speaking out about this. I know I may face backlashes or maybe face retaliation for speaking about the concerns about the Asian American community or my challenges with myself as an Asian American with disability, but I want to address these things and to share my story, my experience, my type of person that I want to be, because I really want to see a world a better place. I want to see the Asian American community to come together to appreciate many people who are diverse in different ways of learning, different backgrounds, or with a disability, or if they're simply just trying to advocate for good policy ideas on social justice, environmental protection, civil rights, including people with disability rights, and criminal justice reform, because we all need to come together to help each other, but also to bring good awareness to even make the world and especially the Asian community a better place, because we cannot live in a world or inside the Asian American community where we continue to see hate and bigotry and bad polarization and including anti-disability stigma too. I know I may not have too many advice for many Asians or Asian Americans that struggle with their identity or if they struggle with a disability, but all I can simply just say is try to be kind to other people, be compassionate, be understanding of people who come from different backgrounds, who struggle with a disability, or if they struggle understanding life. And also, if you're struggling yourself, or if people are struggling, that doesn't mean they are bad or negative people. We are just simply human beings on trying to understand the world or how we can understand ourselves in different situations. And also, for many Asians or Asian Americans that struggle with themselves and wondering if it's okay for them to be different from the stereotypical way of Asians or Asian Americans or how people view it. All I can say is the best thing they can do is be yourself, be creative while using critical thinking. It's okay if you have different interests or hobbies, but don't feel like you have to give up on yourself being an Asian American, or don't feel like you have to give up on being a human being when the world is tough, when people are addicted to bigotry or mean or like to use prejudice against you. So, um, and I want to say thank you for taking the time to listen to my speech. It was took me a very long time to try to figure out how I can easily communicate my thoughts better without making it difficult, without making it seem like I'm criticizing people or a community, but trying to address my concerns, my experiences, my my vision for the Asian American community to be better, and what it means for me to simply just trying to be an Asian American with a disability who wants to be creative but wants to do good, wants to use critical thinking and create different coping strategies when I struggle with my challenges. Thanks for taking the time to listen to me.